Hello everyone, this is Helen H. and welcome to my channel, Moss Cottage. I hope everyone is doing well today. Today is Wednesday, so it's Trash Tuesday for me. And instead of working in the big girl today, I thought I'd go small. So this is my little trash journal. Look how big this is already. Now this cover is coming off and that's totally my own fault. I bound it too tight. But I think when it's finished, it's probably going to be like this because it's so not finished and it's already that big and puffy. So this is going to be a chatty little video, so I'm not going to really tell you what I'm doing. I'm just taking trash. I've got all kinds of stuff over here. I'm just taking some trash that I have. I've got this bin here with small bits in it. I have a big trash bag, and then I've got this little box too. I have a big one of those big plastic tote bags filled with the stuff I use for the big girl because those are bigger images, bigger pieces and stuff. But for this little one, I need to keep it really small. So that's why I have this stuff in these little bins here, because I couldn't find all this stuff if I put it in that big bag. So I'm just going to be sticking stuff down. Probably today I will mostly be just working on backgrounds, which means just sticking stuff in on the back, because I have a lot to talk about. Well, I have a lot to cover. Anyway, so I'm just going to work, and if there's anything earth-shattering that I need to explain what I'm doing, I will do this. But while I am just pulling out this stuff from this little pouch here, which is all trashy stuff and bits and whatever, why don't you get your trashy or whatever journal you were working on, or your crochet, or whatever it is that you're working on, and play along with me. So I'm just pulling some stuff out here so that I'll have some stuff to just go ahead and start playing. So I have some answers for my dear friend Birdie from Birdie the Recycled Hippie Chick. She was talking about me and my channel, and she made some comments that I have to address, and one has to do with bears. I was telling the story about my mountain neighbor who lost her chickens, some of her chickens, to bears, and Birdie was saying there's no way she could ever live where she knew that there were bears or anything like that. And Birdie, you just don't obsess about it. I think if I'm not mistaken, she lives in Kansas, and to me, living in Tornado Alley would be far more scary to me than living where there might be a bear, because bears, especially the bears we have black bears. We don't have grizzly bears where we are. So grizzly bears are the ones that can, are huge and, can eat people and, whatever. Generally, even with grizzly bears, but definitely with black bears, for the most part, they are not interested in people. As a matter of fact, they don't like people at all, and they try to do everything they can. Sorry, I'm just trying to get a piece of glue paper. Try to do anything they can to avoid being near people. So if you're hiking or camping, as long as you're making noise, they're not going to come up and they won't instigate anything. Let's put it that way. They're not going to come and be aggressive with you if you're making noise and whatever. They'd rather stay away from you. So that's why people wear bear bells. If they're hiking, they attach bear bells to their knapsacks or whatever, just to make noise, to warn the bear, that you're coming, because they will get out of the way. The only time that I know for sure that they're really dangerous or can be dangerous is if you encroach on a baby or get between the cubs and the mom. then the mother can get aggressive. But, you know, truth be told, if somebody had gotten close to my son when he was a baby, I would get aggressive too. That's just the way us moms are, right? So, fair enough for that, you know. But anyway, so I'm not that afraid of the bears. The only thing that I'm kind of leery about is, like, on my property when I'm walking around when I'm up at the cabin, and if I have to turn a corner, like from the back of my house to the side of my house or something, I can't see around the corner. So I don't know if a bear was like standing in my driveway, I would turn the corner and there he would be. That kind of creeps me out a little bit. But again, usually I'm making enough noise that, you know, it shouldn't be a problem. And they don't really hang around in one spot unless there's like a food source there. So, you know, that doesn't, you know, we don't keep food out. We're pretty careful about making sure that our trash is all put away up. You know, it's on our back porch. We have a metal trash can that has a tight fitting lid. You know, everything's in bags, you know, and we empty our trash. We don't leave it for any long period of time. We will go ahead. Well, see, I said I'm working on background. You see what I'm doing? I'm trying to put focal points on. Anyway, so if I go hiking, or if I walk up to my neighbor's house, or if I'm walking by myself, so like I'm not talking to somebody. If you're talking to somebody, chances are a bear is not going to come anywhere near you because they can hear you. It's only when you surprise them. So if I'm walking by myself, or, you know, going up to my neighbors or hiking by myself, I have bear spray, which, you know, if you don't know, it's like pepper spray for people, except it's like 10 times worse, and it comes in a bigger can, and it usually comes with a belt, and you just hook the can to your belt, so that, you know, if you were attacked by a bear, and it shoots further than, I think pepper spray mostly for people is like 10 feet, but for bears it's like 20 feet. It will shoot 20 feet because it's a bigger, more pressurized can, I guess. So I do have bear spray. So if I feel like, you know, I'm going to be by myself and not talking or something. Although I've walked up to my neighbor, she's a quarter of a mile up the road from me. I've walked up there many times without bear spray, and, you know, she sees bears on her property, and she's only a quarter mile up the road from me. So, you know, I mean, the potential is there, right? But anyway, so, and more scary than tornadoes, tornadoes are more scary to me than bears. And the other thing that scares me is sharks. So I live in central Virginia. I live in Virginia, Birdie. So we have mountains and we have ocean. And I'm probably about equal distance to both. So I'm not a real beach lover. I do like to go to the beach, like for a day, to walk on the beach or to see the ocean, mostly like in the fall or early winter. I don't like crowds, so I don't like to be there during the summer. And I am a white girl. So my skin tolerance, even with, you know, SPF 5000, I still look like a lobster within a couple hours. I will burn, and then all my skin will peel off, and then I'll be white again underneath, like really white, with skin damage. So, yeah, it's not my favorite to go to the beach. But the other thing is, since Jaws came, I think that's what spoiled the beach for me, really, besides the fact that I was young when that came out. So, you know, I liked the beach then, but, you know, not so much anymore. when you go to the ocean and you're swimming in the water, or you're standing there talking to somebody and something bumps into your leg and you can't see what it is, that just freaks me out. It's like, oh my gosh, what was that? What just touched me? What, whatever. So yeah, I'm not good with that either. So I'd much rather be up in the mountains and deal with a bear that's afraid of me as much as I'm afraid of it, than to go to the beach and have to deal with potential shark. We do have sharks. They do come through Virginia. But we also, the plus side of where we are, we also get dolphins, and particularly in the early fall, like in September, around September, that's when we used to always go to the beach, because it's if you go after Labor Day, it's the rates for the rentals and everything go down, so it's less expensive to go. So when my son was little, before he was in school, we would always go then. I'm just gonna put this little thing that says fresh in here because it's not going to stick, and this is still a little bit tacky. I just want to make sure that I don't glue my tea bag shut there. So, anyway, what was I talking about? I was talking about the beach, right, and sharks. Well, I just don't like sharks, so I don't really care to go to the beach that much. And I know I was probably saying something else. It feels like I was saying something else anyway, but sharks scare me more than bears do. Tornadoes scare me. I actually did live through a tornado when I lived on the other side of this county. A tornado came through our town, and I remember, of course, my husband wasn't home. My son was at school. And my son was actually almost should have been home. At that time, he was very young. And at that time, his school did run a bus to our town. But I think it was like 3 o'clock or so in the afternoon. And I remember looking out the backyard from my kitchen. And I thought, well, this is really odd because everything is blowing sideways, like to the south end of town. I'm like, it was raining, it was bucketing with rain, and everything was flying down to one end of town. And I'm thinking, that's just really odd, that everything's going down that end. And it was kind of a weird yellow color, like not usual, storms usually aren't that color. So, then I was thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know what got into me to think this might be a tornado. I guess seeing everything sucked down to one end of town. And then I heard it. It sounded like a train. It did sound like a train. They say that tornadoes sound like a train. They can sound like a train, and this one did. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it is a tornado. So that house was an old house that we lived in. It was built circa 1840, and it did have a tornado cellar. However, you had to go outside to get to it, which made no sense because, it's bucketing with rain, and you're going to go outside and try to get down that tornado cellar. So the next thing you do, right, is you go into a room that has no windows, no exterior walls, like the inner part of your house, no windows, no exterior part of the walls. That's what you're supposed to do. Well, is that what I did? No. I stood in my dining room, which has a window in it, looking out the front, trying to see if I could see the tornado coming from the south end of town, which was just ridiculous because it luckily veered off to the other side of the street at the end of our block and started going east. And if it hadn't, it would have come straight up, straight up our street and could have, who knows what, right? There was like twisted metal roof bits and stuff on on the road afterwards and in people's yards afterwards and whatever. But the thing that shocked me the most was my absolute wrong reaction to a tornado. Instead of getting into the bathroom, which would have made sense, you know, here I am hanging out trying to see if I could see the tornado. So that was kind of crazy. But yeah, so Birdie, I don't know, girlfriend, if living where you do with tornadoes, if you live in Kansas, I think you do. I'm not 100% sure. Let me know where you live, if you live in Kansas or not. So another thing, you asked me if I watched Janet Nash live on Mondays, and whether I was a quiet watcher who does not comment and just watches. No, I do not watch Janet Nash on Mondays because I work and I have my own business, and generally on Mondays I have to go to my shop, so I just can't. And Janet puts out quite a few videos, so I do watch her shorter videos that she has like during the week and stuff, but I don't have time to go and watch a 2-hour video. It is just the way it is. I just don't have that time. Now, that being said, if Memorial Day, which is a Monday, if she does it Monday morning, I may get to watch it, but I can't promise even then because my sister is visiting from New York, and so we might be doing something together on Monday. So I may not be able to watch it. I don't know. But no, I don't, and I don't even have time to go back to watch. This is so pretty. This is the top of a cat's head. This is the top of a bag of Blue Buffalo cat food. But I think that this is really pretty. You know what? I could like put that on the end of something like that. It opens, right? Yeah, but not far enough. I just have to like staple it on somewhere. Let's see if I can find some. Ooh, that's pretty. That might be pretty on this page here. Maybe I'll take a piece of this. Let's go ahead and square off this end here. I don't like that round end. Let's take that off. Now I lost my page. Here it is. And put it on here, just on the end to make a pretty tab-like thing. Ugh. Oops. Come on, cut it straight, Helen. Oh, for crying out loud, just cut it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so unfortunately, Holly, the princess, has developed the same problem our little Louie had when he was still alive, that he could not have gluten. He was very allergic to gluten. And so when he was alive, he could only eat the Blue Buffalo kibble. He couldn't have any other kind of kibble at all. I mean, we even tried other brands of no grain kibble, and he would just have stomach problems like right away. It was very, very bad for him. So we had to go with the Blue Buffalo. And then when he died of cancer, unfortunately. He was my love, and he had bone cancer. And he must have been about, I guess he was about, how old was Louis when he died? He was, I don't know. I don't remember. He was between 7 and 10, so he certainly wasn't old for a cat. But anyway, when he died, I was like, oh, good. We can, oh, that's not going to cut that. I don't know why. I said we can go back to using grain food because the Blue Buffalo is really expensive. Really, really expensive. So I said with Holly, because she didn't have the problem, it was Louie that had the problem, but see, they eat from the same bowls, and Louis would eat from Holly's and whatever, so they both had to have the same food. So, it wasn't Holly with the problem, it was Louis. I was like, good, so now we can go back to getting cheaper food for Holly because it doesn't bother her to have grain in her food, so we could just go back to normal, like kibble or something. Well, wouldn't you know it, now she developed the same problem. Ooh, this is pretty. Look, this has the same, this is just a scrap of paper, and it has the same kind of shiny stuff that this does here, so I'm going to put that there. Yeah, so now, you know, Holly has developed the same allergy or whatever it is to food with grain in it, so she has to have Blue Buffalo, but I can mix her Blue Buffalo like half and half, as long as I keep it no less than half Blue Buffalo. I can mix hers with Rachel Ray's Nutrish, which is grain-free, so I can mix her kibble half and half, so it's a little less expensive than just the full-on Blue Buffalo. Plus, you know, when Louis was alive, we had both of them eating the Blue Buffalo, and so that was expensive having two cats eat it. Well, now we just have Holly, and so plus we're able to dilute her food a little bit with the Rachel Ray Nutrish, which is, like I said, less expensive, so that's okay. Let me see. I have a little cheat sheet here. No, I'm looking at my notes for what I wanted to answer to Birdie. Yeah, so you had said that you were, I'm not excommunicating, it's not the right word. Unsubscribing from people's channels you weren't watching. I looked and I have like 500 and something channels that I subscribe to. But like you, they are not all crafting channels. I do watch channels for gardening, homesteading. Oh, look, here's a piece of a napkin. Let's see if we can't use some of this. If I can get this off. Let me see if I can stick my finger. Get the ply off. I did go ahead though, Birdie, after watching your video, I did go ahead and I looked at my channels. And what I did was I also looked, I have so many that I'm subscribed to that I just wasn't even watching their channels. But then I went and looked to see, are they even making videos anymore? Because some of the ones I have not been making videos for a while. And I figured, well, if they're not making videos anymore, then they're not, you know, concerned or you know, wanting people to watch their channel necessarily. So I went ahead and unsubscribed from some of those. But, you know, 547 or whatever the actual number was, that is a lot to unsubscribe from, and I'm just not that patient. So I'm doing like 20 a day, you know, going, and I'm starting from the bottom of the list because I think, if I'm not mistaken, YouTube puts the subscriptions in order of like where you're watching them or something, because it always seems to me like the ones I've been watching lately are at the top of my list of subscriptions. I might be wrong, but I think that that's the way it works. So I start at the bottom and work up that way. But it did also, though, reintroduce me to some channels that I haven't watched lately. And I don't know. Guys, tell me, YouTube, what are they doing? They're not giving me, like, my subscriptions that I'm subscribed to. I'm getting more, like, weird things, like, you know, that they're suggesting I would like this, that, and the other, but they're not showing me the ones I am subscribed to. And the ones that I have marked as show me all their videos, they're pushing this other garbage in front of me that I don't want. and it's making me kind of cranky. And it's like, I don't know if that's just me or is that everybody. Have y'all noticed that you're getting more other stuff pushed in your face instead of what you want? I mean, I don't know. Let me know, because I'm not aware that I did anything with my settings to change anything, you know, about I just want new content and not any of my subscriptions. That doesn't make any sense. You know, why would you subscribe if you don't want to see your videos? I mean, they should, even the ones where you don't subscribe to watch all their videos, they should every once in a while put those ones in front of you. I don't know. Anyway, enough of ranting about that. So yeah, so that was good that you said that about the subscriptions, because it did make me go and do some house cleaning. Now, I've got some funny little things here. My friend gave me a children's book the other day that she didn't want anymore, and said if I wanted to cut it up, and I cut out some pictures from it. It was I just want to check my time. Okay, it was a children's book from a library that had been discarded. And so, look at this funny little giraffe. Should we put him popping out of that hole right there? Let's do it. Let's do it. Oops. But anyway, so the reason I'm addressing Birdie is because I had mentioned something to Birdie in a video, one of my last couple videos or whatever. She and I have so much in common. We like camping, we like nature, we like animals, we like crafting, we like trashy journals, you know, we like all kinds of stuff that is the same. And, you know, her thought process is very much like mine. So I just wanted to address the things that she had brought up. We do like, as she calls them, raggedy things hanging out of our journals. I do too. And look at this one, Birdie. This is the one where I sewed in by machine all of these, all of the signatures are sewed together, and then they are bound together. So where they're sewed together, I left the fringes off the edge. But see, I do have doodads hanging off, and tabs, cloth tabs I've put in, and some raggedy little things here. So some pages I have finished, and others, like, you know, the ones I'm working on today, I'm just really just putting backgrounds down, and that's fine, because then sometime I'll just feel like going and putting, you know, maybe like all these little cutouts from the book or something like that. Oh, so I did find this. Oops. Look, there's a little fish in a bottle on the shelf. That's from that children's book that I cut out. Isn't that cute? I found this today when I was looking for something else. It's a 2023-24 Nature Conservancy calendar. Got a cute little picture on the front, but this has some little pictures of nature stuff in it. So I'm putting this with my little journal thing, because look at these cute. Okay, there's a picture of a black bear. That's a black bear right there. Let's put him in honor of Birdie. We're going to put the black bear in, even though I said I'm not going to do focal points. We're going to put a black bear in honor of Birdie. And if I ever see one up at the cabin, you better be sure, if I have my phone anywhere near me, I will take videos of it. Oh, so talking about the cabin, we have security cameras up there, and one is on our road. Oh, look at this little deer popping up out of the grass. We need him too. Let me cut him too. I don't want to cut him up, but we'll use him too. So we have a security cameras on the property, and one of them is on the road, or pointed to our driveway. So if someone comes up our driveway, it will alert us that someone's on our property. Yeah, okay, Helen, let's put the bear on this page where it's like flowery and upholstery, and we've got this bear. Really? Is that right, Helen? Anyway, so it went off yesterday. The alarm thing went off yesterday that someone's on the property, and sure enough, I saw a car pull up our driveway, which just freaks me out because it's so remote. It's like, who on earth is coming up the driveway on our property, right? Well, and then the car stopped, and I couldn't see anyone get out, because I was walking. I was taking a walk around my neighborhood, and I lost Let's put our little bear there. I lost signal. So it took me a while to get back to the live feed on the camera. So I could see that the car was still there, but I couldn't see anybody like in front of the house where the camera's pointing. But my security has a, my security camera has a microphone on it, so that I can set off from, that I can use from my phone. So I'm like holding it down going, hello, hello, who's on my property? Why are you on my property? You know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going on. And I'm standing in the middle of my neighborhood here because I was walking, like I said, and yelling into my phone, what are you doing on my property? And I was literally saying that, what are you doing on my property? Because I was freaking out because, like I said, it's not, people shouldn't be on my property there. And so I'm going to put this, look at this. Can you see this cute little guy? So, wait, where was I going to put that? Here. Yeah, Diane, see? Diane knows what I'm talking about. We say we're going to put it one place, we put glue on it, and then it's sticking it somewhere totally different. Anyway, so I'm yelling, who's on my property? Why are you on my property? What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. So finally this guy comes around, and I could see him, and I guess what he was doing was trying to find where the microphone was. So he came around, and he showed me a clipboard, and he said, I'm from the county tax assessor's office. We're doing new tax assessments this year. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like, I need to tell my husband that our tax rates are either going to shoot through the roof or our property value will like plummet, because I was so like, what are you doing on my property? Who are you? Where are you? You know, because I couldn't see him, you know. So hopefully he doesn't take offense to that and, you know, punish us with like hideous rates or something, tax rates. Although, so I think for the whole year, our tax on that property is like $800. Whereas we own another property in Northern Virginia near DC, and the property taxes there are over $13,000 a year. So it's like between $800 and $13,000, and you're talking about maybe, I don't know, 3 hours difference between the two properties. It's like, that's crazy, right? Look, I'm giving my little deer some pretty flowers. These flowers are cut off of a greeting card, a vintage greeting card, I think. Something like that. Okay, this video is getting kind of long. So, Birdie, I hope I addressed some of the things that you wanted to know, and what I wanted to comment to you. I love watching your videos and watching you work. So everybody, I hope you were playing along too. See what I did? I just really I did stick some focal points down, but I did a lot of just background, so that maybe one day when I'm watching videos, or, you know, I'm just really not feeling in the mood for anything, I can just go and stick some focal points on and, you know, call it done, and it will be done. Like this funny little cat. He's cute, isn't he? I think he's supposed to go that way, though. He's laying on his back. He can't stand on his tail. No, he's got to go that way. Anyway, enough of that. So this little guy is getting so chunky here, and I have so much more to do on this. So this is going to be a gator mouth, and like I said in one of my previous videos when I'm worked on this, when this is done, I will re-glue this down, but I had put this on way too tight, and that's why it came loose, because I put too many pages. This has 100 sheets of paper in here, which means that's 200 surfaces to work on in here. So that is a lot, and that was my fault making it so big to begin with, and then, you know, using it as a journal to stuff with garbage and stuff. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed playing along with me and enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up if you did. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I ask that you do. And until the next video, guys, I hope you're all truly blessed. Bye-bye.